Hey guys, I'm HeyKelseyJ. I am a full-time photographer, model, and content creator, and today we're going to be talking again about posing. Today's video is going to be an intermediate level posing tutorial. I'm going to be sharing some of my slightly more advanced tips. I already did a beginner level video. It's on my channel if you want to check it out, and I'm back in the studio today to demonstrate these tips. So let's dive on in. Tip number one, make sure you have engaging eyes. Basically what I mean by this is that smizing is a very real thing, but I'm gonna teach you how to do it. I think you can see the difference if I'm just staring at a camera like this or like this. So what am I doing in my face to make this happen? It's gonna sound kind of silly, and yes, I'm also automatically doing things with like my face structure and my mouth. I'm kind of relaxing my mouth. But when it comes to the eyes, it's really simple, yet like kind of hard. You just have to practice in the mirror. Is you're going to open them more than you normally would, like you're like really wide awake from something. And then you're going to squint them actively. That's gonna make you look really energetic, really present with the camera versus feeling kind of like dead in the eyes and face and like you're not here and you're ready to take a nap. So let's try this again. Okay, we're gonna do the wide eyes and then I'm going to squint them and you're gonna see the difference. So this is just like relaxing your face, and then wide eyes, and then squint. Okay, really quick. I hope you can see the difference. Tip number two, relax your mouth and body. So you can kind of see I was already doing that already once I went into that model face mode, but it's really important to relax your mouth because sometimes when we're really focused on a photo, we start to clench our jaw and kind of purse our lips and it doesn't look great. So remember, instead of doing this, do this. That feels really weird to demonstrate, but that's literally all it is. It's just relaxing your lip, even just your bottom lip, and it's gonna look more relaxed and natural on camera. Side note from that, if you have your mouth more open than that, most of the time it's gonna look kind of weird. It's gonna look like a fish out of water. So that's what this would look like. That feels so silly to do, but you get my point. Relaxed mouth is the best way to go in most cases. And the same goes for your entire body too. Sometimes when we're trying really hard to get a pose right, we get stiff. So if you're ever in the zone and you feel like you're getting stuck in a pose or you're feeling like it's coming off too robotic or too stiff, I seriously will just stop for a second, stop the photographer, and I will just shake out my body woo, and move around so that I can relax into it again and do a pose where it still feels relaxed and natural. Number three, think about the emotion that you're trying to evoke in the photo. Okay guys, we're getting deep here. This is definitely intermediate level, but when you understand the concept of the image and what emotion you're trying to convey, what you're going to do with your body language and your face is going to change in order to evoke that feeling. So for example, if I was shooting for a brand like Nike and I wanted to look strong and powerful and sporty and athletic, so instead of being all like girly, I would probably face more direct to camera, and to look more powerful and demanding, your face can look directly to camera. And if you want to look even more aggressive, you can tilt your chin up. But if I was shooting for, I don't know, maybe like a bridal wedding gown company, I'd probably want to look really happy and more feminine. So that would maybe look more like this. So what I did there is when you tilt your chin down more into the side, that's going to look more inviting and more friendly and a bit more feminine. And I was angling my body and using my hands and the way I held my hands to feel more soft and more feminine in my posing as well. Those are just two examples, and obviously there are a million different kinds of examples you can give, but just remember that you are responsible as a model when you're posing for getting across the concept of the photo and emoting the emotions that you were supposed to share with the viewer. And there's a lot of different ways to do this, and you're gonna learn this through practice, but just be aware of that and understand how you can start translating that through your facial expressions and your body language. Number four, play around with your outfit, your accessories, and your surroundings. Honestly, the hardest way to pose is kind of like this with just a blank backdrop, nothing to interact with, and in jeans and a t-shirt. There's not a lot going on here for me to work with. But if that's the case and you're feeling stuck in your posing, try to change your outfit, try to find something to interact with, try to find some props. There are so many things you can do when you have more in your space to work with. So for example, yes, maybe we're shooting here, but let's go off script. Let's go from the backdrop. We can use the wall to lean on. What else could we use in here? One sec. Okay, so I literally just found this mirror that already was just in the studio. I wasn't planning this, but I found a prop to interact with, eh? So this could be cool. Like if that was my lens and you could see me in it, then I can start, obviously this angle would be different, but I can start interacting with this mirror on camera to give me something else to do. You know, sometimes you gotta get creative to get some interesting poses. And of course, interact with your outfit. If you have accessories on, use them. If you have a scarf, play around with it. If you have a dress on, this is why I love flowy dresses. You can play around with the fabric. You could use movement to make your clothing change and show off the clothing and the shapes that it can create. Jeans and t-shirt is actually a little harder. You can always, you know, use your pockets to your advantage. You can use a back pocket, do your thing. But I think you get the idea. Use your styling and your environment and literally anything around your environment, including a mirror, to your advantage. Number 5, learn your most flattering angles for your particular face shape and body type. Let's be real, a lot of times when I'm out taking photos with my other friends, they're female friends that are a lot shorter than me. I'm pretty tall. So if she does a pose and I try to do it the exact same way, it's not gonna translate the same on camera. So we always need to be aware of what we look like and practice our favorite poses so we know which ones are our go-to so that we always feel like we're getting flattering photos. And yes, you know, a lot of people say they have a good side or a bad side. I personally feel like my left side of my face is my good side. I think it's more angular. So that's a basic way to do it, but a more advanced version is every single face is going to catch light differently because every face shape is different. I know my face straight on can look rounder, so if I want to look more angular and more model-esque, I know to tilt my face to the side a little bit. One time with a photographer, when I started out modeling, I sat here in a studio like this with studio lights and we would change the lighting slightly and change the angle of my face just slightly to figure out exactly what was my perfect angle to camera to be the most flattering with the light on my face. Again, everyone's gonna look differently, so experiment with this in the mirror, in a studio, or with lighting or outside or whatever you have to your advantage, and eventually you're gonna figure out what's most flattering for you. Number 6, don't be afraid to ask to review some of the images in the back of the camera so that you can see what you look like, see what you like and don't like, and then make adjustments to your future poses. Overall, most photographers are going to be focused on the lighting and the composition and what you're looking like overall in your posing, in your face. I've noticed sometimes because they have so much to pay attention to, they kind of miss out on the details. So for example, as a model, I know it's my job to make sure that my hair looks okay. I am so OCD about my bangs looking okay on camera. I know it's my job to make sure that there's no wrinkles in my clothing, that kind of stuff. If you're working with a stylist, sometimes tags will be sticking out, pop those back in. Just be aware and make sure that you have some say in what the photos look like so that you can bring your best A game to the image. Number 7, our final tip of this video, don't be afraid to get weird with it. So once you get past the basics of modeling and you've gotten some more experience and you know what looks good on you in terms of your angles and your poses, it's really easy to get into a posing rut and just go to your top 5 poses every single time. But really good models know how to break it up and how to experiment and try different weird or interesting things on camera to get a more dynamic and more creative and just different image. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you can't pull it off and it's gonna look really awkward and it's gonna look really silly, but for the one time it looks good, it is absolutely worth it. I think part of being confident on camera is being willing to be vulnerable and look dumb and make mistakes. That is part of just being a creative in general. So don't worry, you're gonna push through it, and once you do something weird and you pull it off once, you're gonna wanna keep experimenting and do it because the best models are not afraid to go there. So something that I play around with a lot that can sometimes look really weird is covering my face. So I have that one photo from Joshua Tree that somehow I pulled off. I'm not even sure how, but sometimes when you cover your face, it looks kind of weird. But somehow I did this pose where like I covered it in the right way that it looked dynamic. I was like, oh. Oh. Anyways, I'll share the photo here so you see what I mean, but that was kind of a weird pose. I didn't just stand there and look pretty at camera, I did something different. Or another one I did that I looked so stupid when I was trying to do this in public was I have this shot on the salt flats in Death Valley where I had leaned back. I've been like, boom. Why do I do sound effects with this? Let's do it again. Like that. Anyways, I was leaning back so aggressively on my tippy toes over and over and over again. It looked so stupid and so bad and so awkward, and I'm sure people were laughing at me. But when I finally got the shot that was my vision for that pose and that photo, I am still so excited about that photo. So don't be afraid to get creative, get weird with it, and you're gonna get some really good shots. All right, guys, that's all the tips I have for you today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feelings, whatever you feel like, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If you're interested in more posing, modeling, and photography videos from yours truly, feel free to hit subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you did. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you next time. Yay, we did it!